Okay, so next I'm going to ask Kim and Morgan, who has had a very interesting journey in their own right, to come and tell us about their journey. Okay, thank you.
Okay, hello again everybody. I'd like to introduce Morgan. So I met Morgan almost a year to the day. We started this circle a little later than others, I think there were a few issues around getting a full circle, and we came into it a bit later than some. Morgan is a very quiet individual. It took us a while to get to know each other. He's a father of 3 beautiful children. He's a dedicated husband, and most importantly, he's a very, very successful principal. The school that we started our partnership with is a school just in the south of Johannesburg city, close to the Turpentine Racecourse, an area called Rosettenville. It's a very, very small school area. He only had 24 teachers assisting him with, I think it's about 800 learners, just under 800 learners. It's a high school, and it was never ever built as a school. So there's no playground for the children to go and have their lunch on or spend time on. There's a little bit of an area that they can work around on, but essentially it's mostly prefab classes, and he, for 3 years in a row, managed to bring this school to the pinnacle of success. We'll get more into that when we get a bit further. Our journey has been a slow one, because it's taken us a while, with all the various commitments that we've had, to spend time together, to actually be able to do the things that you're so passionate about doing. So I came onto the program through Standard Bank. We've got myself and Ram, who you'll meet in a moment. Our leader is a very, very entrepreneurial leader. He's very interested in giving back to the community. A gentleman by the name of Craig Polkinghorn, who couldn't be here today. And it's through his efforts that he raised this awareness with Symphonia to his leadership team. And he's given 3 of his leaders the opportunity this past year, to participate in the program. Our other leader is in KZN, and she is probably going through a very similar ceremony any day now as well. But essentially, I was very, very keen to join the program. I've been for many years very focused on my career, and not necessarily having the time or really the understanding of how do you actually create the space and the opportunity to be able to be put in a position, and the privilege of being put into a position where you can actually give back, and give back to a very important part of our society, which is our children. And the education problem we have at the moment is a dire issue. We've got many dedicated individuals in many parts of the education environment working with very little, and Morgan is one of those individuals. Him and his staff at Kenilworth Secondary School they only started the school, I think, 2015, and they really, what they managed to achieve in those 3 years alone is astronomical. With the resources that they had at their disposal, with the support that they were given, my mind is blown. So it's been a privilege for me to be part of this process for the last 12 months. And to many of the other leaders and the principals who've presented already, this is not something that becomes something you do for a year. This is something you do for a lifetime. To Brian's point, we all like to think we live forever, and when he said forever, I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do that forever, but actually maybe not. It could be a lifetime, So, but hopefully the legacy you leave behind is just, even if you've made a difference to just one person, and one person's life, I think you've achieved something. So that's who Morgan is, and that's where I started my journey. And I'd like to hand over to Morgan to give his bit of our presentation, and we'll carry on from there.
Thank you, Kim. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, and then it has been for a period of 2 years since I met Kim. What makes her tick were the following. Number one, has got a good entrepreneurship skills, which I believe that each and every citizen of the country should have that, so that you can able to do for yourself, not waiting for the department or the government to do something for you. And then the second one, the type of the person that can able to withdraw strength from. You know, you are there in that office, you are alone, there are challenges, you need somebody who can able to motivate you. There comes Kim who can able to just take a phone and try to motivate you. That type of a person also is self-driven. You know, most of leaders, if it happens that you are not self-driven, the followers cannot able to follow you because you are not active in that phase. So that's what Kim already portrayed on personal side. Come to business. What I can able to say about her is that she's very she's a leader by birth. Number two, she can able to plan things. As you can see, she's the one who's planning all these things. She's also an organizer. She can able to organize, and at the same time, she can able to monitor whether are we still at the right track or not. Because most of leaders realize that they just can able to talk and just leave things simple as that without following in on monitoring. So I believe that these are the four main characters of being a leader, as Kim portrayed in that. As I indicated also, I can also some of the personal things with her without any problem. Now, challenges, as she spoke about the school where you're coming from. The school is situated at Rosettenville. Can you imagine, we talk of Rosettenville, we talk of drugs, we talk of prostitution, we talk of crime. So those are some of the challenges in the area. The school was just under-resourced, and the morale of the staff members was very, very low. Sometimes there's this day called Spring Day, in terms of discipline of the learners. Learners were not focused. During that period of time, we just tried to teach, especially on those particular day, on the first day, September, Spring Day. You realize learners were able just to play with water. Then the school, we have to close the school on a particular day. There was no culture of learning. So there comes with possibilities and try to see what is it that can be done, because everything starts in the mind. So we had to firstly to change the mindset of the staff members and see that we can able to do it without inviting from people from outside to tell us what to do, by changing the mindset. I sometimes thought that I'm going to get things like materialistic, like a photocopy machine or anything that's materialistic, but I realized that knowledge is power, which you can able to solve any problem. So these are one of the main things that I've managed to achieve through working with Kim. I'll just take it over from you.
Yeah, so some of the things that we try to approach our year, we understood that we didn't have a lot of time. A year is not a lot of time. In the life of a child, it's forever. But in the life of a principal, it's not a lot of time to achieve much. You know, but every day something's happening. There are issues you're facing in the community, the issues you're facing with your learners. And the strength that Morgan gave to his management team and to his teachers helped them achieve their greatness. We prioritized specifically things that we could do immediately for the school. We worked together with the RAM, was instrumental in helping us utilize old used furniture at Standard Bank. We've got a warehouse full of this furniture which isn't very necessarily suited for school, but we try to make do with what we had. We provided the school with some equipment and a multifunctional device for the photocopying of material. One of the things that really touched me, though, was not necessarily about what you give to the school. It's about how you recognize the school for what they're achieving. So as I mentioned, Morgan, the school only existed from 2015. Every year, for the third year running, last year they achieved 100% pass rate in matric. And I think that's really a testament, and I was quite daunted by that, because I thought, what can I teach this principal? So fine, we can assist with maybe planning for initiatives and learning how to build partnerships in the community, but this school's achieving. They might have nothing, but they're achieving what every other school is battling to achieve, even the schools that are well resourced. So what can I do? And I think one of the most amazing sessions that I went on to was the time to think. These conversations that you have and you listen, the listening skills that you get. We're running out of time, so I think I've been speaking too much. I think, Morgan, you've got your bit to add, so let's carry on with you.
Okay, in that 100% that we achieved, mainly the first day was in 2015. That was the first metric that we had. So it was 70% bachelor's and 30% diploma, no senior certificate. And then the following year was 80% bachelor's and 20 diploma, no senior certificate. And the following year was 82:18. So in that school, we were no longer talking in terms of the senior certificate. You want quality, not quantity. Now, as you can able to see here, this award was given by MEC Panyaza Lusufi as one of the best performing schools in Gauteng. And then also the other one, this one was the director and deputy director at school for being the best in terms of quality result. Because I can see now the signal, I've got 2 minutes. Okay, and then also after achieving this, I think it's a privilege for me also to indicate that we had to go to Harvard University at Boston in USA, where we have to learn about homeschooling, because we realize that some of the challenges is that the problems start from home. With the family, so had to learn that skill and try to implement it at school level. But one of the things that I indicated, as you can see, this is a possible hall. It's not a hall. The other one, that possible hall, as I indicated to you, that Kim, that one of the things that you must have is about entrepreneurship. What is it that you can able to do? So the SGP members, we're trying to fundraise together with the learners so that you can able to build that hall. I can proudly say now this hall is still in progress. And then we managed to get a mining company. It's going to give us 2 million rand to complete that one. Now, because of this success, I had to go to another school also. I've been invited also to another school to become a principal permanent there, because it looked like at Kenilworth we have reached a carrying capacity in terms of performance. The skill that I've learned from Kenilworth now I have to implement it to this school that was a little bit going down. So I'm in a new school right now, college was called the Fakkel. I started in 16th of April, and all the things or skills that I've learned from Kenilworth and from the PFP, I'm still going to implement it. And I must say that the signs there are positive. They are already started, but they can see some changes in terms of discipline, in terms of curriculum matters. Thanks, man. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Thank you, Kim. Okay, so something that struck me about this partnership was how almost one never had a feeling like there was a big bang moment, but when you looked again, something new happened, and Kim was always there, and I just saw the relationship blossoming. And I mean, before I knew it, Kim was doing something else, and then Morgan had another achievement, and then Kim was doing something else, and Morgan had another achievement, and then he was sent there, and then he was sent here. So this is actually quite a power couple, if one can call them there, but in a very quiet way. I mean, would the rest of the people agree with me in our circle, hey? Like a very quiet way, but very powerful. And I just think that they're destined to go on and achieve a hell of a lot more in the new school. It's not always easy to change over. Kim, I think, was one of the first people that knew that that was a possibility. So the level of trust that Morgan had, could share that with Kim and so on. But it was just beautiful for us to be part of your journey. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. We're going to have a short break now, and then we'll have our last two presentations. A very short break, just so that we can set up the video on the big screen for one of our partnerships that where neither of the partners are here. And also, last but not the least, to have Ram come and talk to us about his partnership with Siadi, who unfortunately also cannot be here today. But Ram is a wonderful speaker and an MC, so I wanted to leave him for last so that he can.